Hey guys, it's Sam and this is Top 5 Wednesday. If you're new to Top 5 Wednesday, I will leave a link to the Goodreads group down below for topics and such. This week's topic is bookish things you're a Grinch about. So seeing as I use the term like you're a Grinch about, it's not super serious stuff, so there's obviously very serious book topics that make me angry. But a Grinch implies it's just like you're being crabby for like not that big of reasons, you know, it's just things that you personally don't like, but like other people can be fine with, you know, stuff like that. Bookish things like that. Number 5 is something I've talked about a lot, so I'll just plug here, and that is YA fantasy finales in general. Or just finales that I find bad and hold back and are really unsatisfying. I've done a few video discussions about these, which I will link, because they're just not fun, and I'm just done. And I haven't had any lately, thankfully, because I haven't really been reading any YA fantasy finales lately. But I've just been done. This is the year of me being done with the YA fantasy finales and done with being super disappointed in all of them. Number 4 is Lost Princesses. Now, this is a trope that like I give a chance to because like I'm fine with it, but I find it so incredibly predictable. Like if it's a lost princess where you know it's a lost princess from the beginning, like that's fine. Like I'm fine with that. Whatever. There's a couple of those, like The Queen of the Tearling could be argued that, and I really love that series. You know, there's stuff like that. But when it's when the author pretends that we don't all know that this is the Lost Princess, it's like, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Like, the Cinder series, you know, the Throne of Glass series, like, everyone knows. Literally everyone knows. That's why I said it, because it's not even a spoiler, because you can literally tell, like, the foreshadowing is, like, beating you over the head, and then it waits till the end of the book, and it's like, oh, by the way, in this thing, it's like, yeah. We all know. And I find that happens the most with the Lost Princesses trope. So I'm just kind of like, no. Number 3 is specific to me, and that is just in general my specific library and the audiobook wait times for my library. So I've talked about before that my library locally here is not that good. I support the library fully. I think the library is a great resource and is for many things that aren't just book related. But for me and my reading taste, my reading habits, it doesn't work for me because they don't have the selection and like the wait times, and it's just kind of ridiculous. But I'm a big fan of the Libby app, and not sponsored by the way, but I use that for all of my audiobooks. It's like super simple. But the wait times, man, like they barely have even a 10th of the audiobooks that I would like to use. I don't want to spend the money on Audible, but I might eventually, just because it's like there's so many audiobooks I want to listen to and they don't even have like popular ones, like the Six of Crows audiobook, even though I don't need to listen to that, but like they just didn't have that. They just don't. I waited a year for American Gods. I requested American Gods this time last year. I waited a year. A year. For a really popular book. Like a popular book that they had multiple copies of it. I think they only had like 5. Like, the series was just coming out, I think, this time last year. Like, come on, people. And it took that a year? A year to wait for an audiobook? Are you kidding me? So there's so many. And there's very few that are like readily available just to download immediately. So you have to kind of like plan out your holds in a mathematical way to be like, okay, this one's going to be ready in 2 weeks. And this one will be ready in 4 weeks. So it'll give me enough time to read this one if this one comes in and no. And I don't even necessarily like read an audiobook in the 2-week time span that you need to get it done, because it's like sometimes I'm not driving enough or whatever. It's super stressful and I hate it. And the accessibility of the audiobooks is just not there, and it's highly disappointing. And I just want more variety and to not have to wait a year for my audiobooks. Please. Number 2 is one that everyone has a problem with, and that is the changing of the book covers mid-series. It's a much talked about thing that pisses all of us off, and it makes me sad. I understand why it's done. It's done for marketing reasons, and they compare books, and here's a popular book, and this book isn't doing so well in this market, so let's make the cover like this one, and whatever. We all hate it, and they do it anyway. There's never really been like a good cover change. I don't think that I've ever really seen like, oh, these covers are so much better. Either they're like equally good or they're worse. And they do it mid-series. And I get it. I get it. If it makes the rebranding is necessary for the book to succeed in most markets, fine. Capitalism, whatever. But like, it hurts me as someone who's been following the whole series from the beginning, and now they don't match. And it's just like, it's not a big deal, but it's a deal. Number 1, it's gonna get me a smidgen people like maybe annoyed with me and whatever. But again, this is stuff that I'm Grinchy about and you can still like it and whatever. And that is the most of the friends to lovers trope. I know, I just don't really like it. It's mostly like so I have a specific kind of friends to lovers trope that I don't like, because I like some of them, or I'm okay with some of them. I don't like the, like, best friends for years grew up together, and typically speaking, the guy doesn't see the girl as that, you know, romantically or whatever, and she's always had a huge crush on him and been in love with him, and then she goes and either does something or leaves or meets a new guy or new girl or whatever the case may be, and the guy's like, oh wait, I loved you the entire time, and it's just like, bro, you have had so many opportunities. The prime example of this is Ron and Hermione. No, your butt, no. No, you had opportunities, and it's not like she needs to be with people that I want her to be with. She can be by herself, whatever. Like, this is a whole different conversation, a whole different video that I could make and that I've talked about and whatever. But, like, stop it. Like, just either keep being friends and just, like, have these platonic, you know, opposite sex relationships that are friendships. Don't make them all be in love. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. The only time that I'm, like, okay with it, and I actually do really like it, because sometimes I'm okay with it if it's, like, they've been just friends for a short amount of time or whatever, and I'm like, fine. When I actually love it is when it's a princess and a guard situation, and, like, maybe they grew up together, like, playing, you know, in the castle or whatever, but he has to be her guard, and, like, he has, look at me, I'm getting giddy. He has, like, a sacred duty, and, like, they aren't supposed to, and, like, it's forbidden, and that's good. Because it's all angsty and great. The other stuff is just like, nah. You know, especially like contemporary versions, nah. But if you give me like a fantasy or a historical, you know, like setting and then the guard and that's fine. That's fine. But it's the other stuff that I don't really like. And I'm a big Grinch about. I just don't like it. It's a trope I don't like. So there's some bookish things that I'm a Grinch about. Comment down below, let me know some of your things that you don't like that are mostly insignificant. Not a big deal. Trope, stuff like that. Not big ticket issues. Small little Grinchy things. Comment down below, let me know some of yours. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all guys soon. Bye!